Alright, how's it going today? My name's Thomas Steed.
Daniel.
Daniel?
Mm-hmm.
Nice to meet you, Daniel. Well, this is my first interview with anyone. Would you like to tell me a bit about yourself, about whatever it is that you want to put out there, tell the world? As somebody who's, lived through struggles, is, one that is going through struggles, to one who has gone through struggles. What do you have to say to me and to the world?
Broad question. I suppose one of the biggest and most important things of all is life is an education. As long as it's considered that, then whatever comes, be it better, be it for worse, it's all about learning. We can grow and become stronger through the bad times in our lives. We can develop character.
Through struggles.
Yeah, and find ourselves. We can truly find ourselves in those struggles, in those difficulties. Ease and comfort just stifles it.
So it's the difficult times that define a man.
It's how they face the some will choose to run away, others will choose to dive in.
And how a man handles it defines a man.
Ultimately, take life as an education, and everything's good. The bad stuff is good, because the bad stuff works to our advantage, not to our disadvantage.
Because it makes us stronger.
Exactly.
Strength.
Builds us up in the inside.
Strength through adversity.
Exactly. We need the truth be told, we need the struggle. We need the difficulties. We need the hardships. Because we'll never develop, we'll never grow, we'll never become who we're meant to be without them.
That's true. Have you ever heard of the concept of the fourth turning?
The what?
The fourth turning.
Mm-hmm.
There's 4 different phases. You have strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. Weak men create hardship, and then hardship creates basically chaos, and chaos creates strong men. So it's basically a concept that we go through a 4-generation cycle. How old are you?
65 years old.
You're 65?
Yeah,
So
as of December last year.
You're probably at the end of, 3 generations? You're probably in the 4th generation.
It would be 4. Because Z would be the 4th generation. Because I'm at the tail. I came in at the tail end of boomers.
See, and technically, I fall underneath the category of millennial, but I identify a lot more with Generation X. When it comes right down to it, I've got much more of the attitude of Generation X, where I'm a fuck you kind of more anarchist type viewpoint. It wasn't until I was in my 20s that I decided libertarian, small libertarian, was, where I landed politically.
Politically, I started out in a Democrat family, voted Democrat. Wound up switching to Republican, spent time as a Republican, and then after getting a good dose of education when it comes to politics in general, I just said, I've had it, enough is enough, and I walked.
Yeah.
I turned and just, no more. I'm not voting. I'm not supporting anybody. And the biggest reason for that is because it's blind leading the blind. It's flawed and imperfect. It's a flawed and imperfect person trying to fill a position that they're really not qualified for because they're flawed and imperfect. And it's flawed and imperfect people trusting in flawed and imperfect people to make important decisions regarding
And
their
they're
lives.
all going to
and
be flawed and imperfect.
Everything's going to be flawed and imperfect.
Mm-hmm. But we do at least need some form of social cohesion.
Well, the social cohesion, I think, should come from within, should be developed from within on a person-to-person basis, where we can really get to know each other, develop a respect and an appreciation for the whole person, where society is taught that we are nothing more than what's on the surface. We're nothing more than our skin color, we're our gender, we're our politics, we're our religion, as if there were nothing deeper down inside.
But there's so much more behind it than that.
There is. There's infinitely more behind it. But we're told these things to be kept in line. We're told these things for the sake of being controlled and manipulated and used for the furtherance of an agenda that will never truly benefit anybody.
No, absolutely not. No, and this globalist order has been something that has been propagated for roughly 100 years, according to my own research. But what it's currently stated as is the liberal world order.
That's just it. I find that flawed. I find that inherently flawed.
It is. It's very flawed.
Because the very concept of liberalism is more of a radical nature. It's more of an expansive nature. It's more leaning towards progress, towards development. And
degradation. That's the problem. It progresses towards degradation.
It's actually not progressing. It's actually regressing. It's actually going backwards.
It's basically working towards hedonism, falling apart, allowing the entire world system to fall apart into degradation and hedonism.
And individualism is the greatest threat to the structure, the organization of things.
No, I definitely agree with that. Individualism is quite possibly one of the more important things that we as a society can grab onto and hold on to. Is that I am an individual and you are an individual, and every single person is an individual with their own autonomy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, you got to develop it.
But there's so many people that don't understand that. They're just 10-watt sheep. They're drones. They get born, they get raised, they get pushed through the school system, and they just want to be told what to do and hear what it is that they want to say. You know?
Yeah. We're so stuck on this idea, and I see it plainly, being so stuck on being a part of something, belonging to something, being accepted, being approved of, getting validated,
But
getting
why?
validation.
But why? And that's something that I don't understand either. This is because
It's being too scared, too afraid
to stand out.
to venture out on their own.
And be yourself. Yeah. And I've never understood it. Like conceptually, it's always baffled me. Why?
Yeah,
people
well, it's
wanna
been
be
so
that
deeply.
way.
It's been so deeply ingrained. We're not talking just in the last few decades or anything like that. We're talking thousands of years of conditioning, thousands of years of
Herd
this kind
mentality.
of thing, and it has just grown worse over time.
It's herd mentality.
Flock mentality,
Yeah.
like sheep.
When I went to college, that's what in sociology, that's the term that they refer to it as herd mentality, technically.
Yeah.
But flock mentality, that I mean, just the same. It's the exact same concept.
And you see it in the world today. You see it exemplified. You see it exemplified in the political parties. You see it exemplified in the churches, in the various religions. You see this flock or herd mentality. It's promulgated, it's promoted, it's advanced, it's from generation to generations. It's continued.
Yeah.
And it grows stronger, and it grows more pernicious, and it's so very subtle and so very deceptive.
So,
Most people don't really understand what's happening. Is their mind is being controlled by others. Their very thought processes. They're being. We get it from the politicians, and we get it from the media, and we get it from the education system. We're surrounded by these things all the time.
telling you what to do and how to think.
Yeah, and the thing is, it all seems so very natural. There does not seem to be anything at all out of the ordinary. Because we're so accustomed to it, we don't know anything but.
You said that you're 65, right? Is that what you said? Right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Give me a little history. Like, did you serve in the military?
I entered the Air Force, was honorably discharged. It was lackluster, to say the least, or actually, at best, it was lackluster.
You had an injury or something?
No, it wasn't for me, especially when I got talked into doing law enforcement. I wanted to get around aircraft.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's maintenance, get my hands in on and work on some aircraft, because I love airplanes.
My grandpa loved airplanes. My grandpa was one of the pioneers of what would be considered drone technology now. He was really early in electronic flight, making really lightweight balsa airplanes that were powered by battery rather than powered by gas. Because back in the day, it used to be gas that was the big one. And I did a little bit of it, but I worked my rear end off to make one airplane when I was probably like 12 years old, and flew it straight into the ground after like 6 months of work, and that was pretty much it for me. But my family has ties in that technology.
was after the Air Force, after I left the Air Force, and I decided to strike out on my own, so loaded up a backpack and literally hitchhiked all over the lower 48. Took a couple of years or so to just see the country.
Yep.
The one period of time I was homeless and intentionally homeless.
Intentionally homeless.
Because obviously, if you're going to see the country, you can't have a home. You can't have a place where you actually live.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's one way to look at it. I mean, it definitely cuts your ties.
It does indeed. I grew up in a dysfunctional household and also never really had much in the way of ties to begin with, so it wasn't a real problem to walk away from it all and just go on my own.
Yeah. So, in 65 years of life, what would you say is the biggest thing that has happened that you personally take comfort in, or you like?
I know myself now. It took 62, 63 years to get to the place where I could honestly say that I know myself. And I'm comfortable in my own skin, and I'm okay just being me. I no longer need images. I no longer need labels. I can just be me. Yeah. Which really goes against the grain when you're dealing with a world that projects images, that thinks the image is everything, and fitting into something. It is key to living a good life. When you can live a far better life as yourself, when you can find a peace and a comfort within. And you're not reliant on anyone or anything. You're not dependent on anyone because you have everything you ever needed in life right inside of yourself. It's been there all along. It's simply a matter of finding it.
Being comfortable with who you are in of yourself.
Mm-hmm. Becoming self-contained.
You would say that becoming self-aware and self-comforted and contained is a key to a happy life.
Yeah, well, at the very least, a very contented life. You're not tied to material possessions. You're not tied to money. They're nice to have, but
they're not necessary.
They're not. No, they're not. They're not really.
So I myself, I'm guilty of liking nice things.
Well, who doesn't? I like nice things. I love looking at some of these beautiful automobiles. It's like, ooh. Can I afford one? Nope. Will I ever? No. Does it matter? No. I look at them now for aesthetics.
And people have different different things. Like, for you, it might be an automobile. For me, it's audio equipment, or
no, not for me. Nothing. Material possessions are things to be used until they cease to work, and then you get rid of them. If you can't replace them, well, that's fine. If you can, that's fine. It does not really, ultimately, it doesn't matter.
Oh, it's not determinate at the end of the day, but everybody has some type of vice.
I vape.
Gotcha.
You say vice, and immediately it's like, okay, fine. I enjoy the flavors. I enjoy
Taste.
puffing different flavors, and
You like taste. You
I love good food.
sensory.
Yeah, I love the sensory experiences that come from
Oh.
things like vaping or eating different types of food that are either spicy or just
Oh,
really well seasoned.
I love spicy food. I really do. Like Thai food. I'm a spice nut. Like the hotter the better. Like if I ain't like almost sick, wishing I hadn't eaten something about 6 hours later, it wasn't hot enough.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? If it don't burn coming out worse than it went down, I didn't do the job right.
Oh, I found out, I discovered my love for spice taught me a very important lesson on tolerance levels.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you push yourself too hard and you do too much, I came to discover that you lose the sensation. You literally,
you'll
the
dull
next
the
bite,
palate.
and then the next bite of something spicy doesn't have any spice to it because your brain just says, "Oh hell no," and click, turns it off. I don't know if that's the result of some kind of endorphin rush or what exactly it is, but it's
It's basically building up a tolerance. It's the same effect that happens with anything that affects your brain in
well, yeah, that's true.
in any sense. Drugs do the
I've
same
learned the
thing.
hard way. I've learned the hard way what it really takes to be rid of fear, and that is to be so immersed in the stimuli
Mhm.
that causes fear that it's overloaded.
Yeah,
Fear is
immediately.
overloaded, and the brain just simply says no, and
I don't
it
give
vanishes.
a fuck
You know.
anymore. That's basically what happens. And
I had when I was a kid.
as a lifeguard, recently, like I had my first actual rescue experience where I had to actually jump into the water and save somebody, and it was the first time in a very long time that my brain actually triggered the endorphin release of being in not fight or flight, but a do you get what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
my brain went into that mode.
Survival.
Yeah. Where my brain triggered it, fight or flight. Realistically, I'm trying to.
I think I
of
kind of
it.
sort of lost that one too. When I was a kid, some guy, we had this dog, Pooch. This guy comes walking up to the backyard, reaches over the 6-foot fence. He's fairly tall, and he shot him, killed him. I mean, the dog bolted for the back porch, collapsed right there, and died from gunshot wound.
And you watched that?
Yeah, I saw the sparks stuff come out of the barrel as he fired. Heard the dog.
How old were you?
Let's see. Maybe about 14, 15 years old, somewhere in there.
Damn. That's
Everybody,
pretty.
people started
That's pretty
hitting this
fucking
guy.
intense, man.
People
I'm
started
sorry.
hitting this guy and then running off.
What happened to him?
Oh, well, let me give you this part first. I went into the kitchen. There was this hunting knife with a fake bone handle, actually plastic with the bone.
You're not
handle.
about to tell me something that's going to be self-incriminating, right?
I don't see how.
Okay.
I bolted out the door, charged straight for the guy.
You didn't.
He
kill
had
him.
just enough. He had just enough time to turn his head and look and get a look of fear in his eyes, seeing that I'm far too close to guns not gonna help. And then she stepped in between us and stopped me cold, and pretty much threw the whole thing. So no, nothing happened. Outside of the fact he got scared out of his wits.
But you almost shanked somebody to death
Yeah,
for
over
shooting a dog.
for shooting a dog. Yep, that dog was family. That dog was in a dysfunctional household. That dog became the family. That
Yeah.
dog was the closest. You know.
That's pretty fucking intense, man.
Yeah. Well, what happened? He wound up beating a man to death with a baseball bat. Not long after that.
He did. And he ended up getting fucking charged for doing
And I
that.
imagine he went to prison for it, but yeah. Somebody would say if you'd succeeded, you'd got in trouble. Yeah, I would have gotten in trouble. And the person that was beaten to death with a baseball bat would still be alive. Count the cost. which is worse?
So you would rather have taken the time?
I would rather have got him with that knife and ended that whole thing, even if it was just so much as a really good wound, not necessarily kill him, just mess him up, you know.
Good enough.
That he's not going to be as functional.
See, and that's something that, in society that I kind of I think is a flaw in society is that we don't allow that self-policing anymore.
No.
I think that we've come to a point in society where we rely way too much on the actual police force and shit to handle everything for us. I don't know, my headphones are starting to play, and I just took them off.
It's funny, that was a movie of all things to say, and the ripples of our action. We never know the ripples of our actions or our inactions. We never know what will come from it, what the consequences of our choices are going to be.
Yeah.
I look at that situation and think, if I had succeeded, somebody would still be alive right now.
But we don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, maybe
True.
he would have still done it.
Maybe he would have been in at least in the hospital during the period of time in which it took place.
It happened. Yeah.
Or recovering at home. Something that I would have at the very least slowed him down, maybe, and potentially prevented it from happening.
Alright, well, I think probably say that, this is the end of our first interview here. Like, share, subscribe, comment in the comment section. I like speaking with all y'all out there on the interwebs, and just so that everybody's aware, this next series of speaking with individuals like
Daniel
here is going to go back into the homeless community up here, and that it's the right thing to do with it. So I definitely intend to speak with Daniel some more. I feel like Daniel's got a lot to say. He's got 65 years of experience, and I don't want to drag it out an hour at a time. I'd rather do it a half hour at a time. So we're gonna wrap this one up, but thank you guys, and I hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully you enjoy the future videos coming up.